Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. My guru said one time, he said, just because you don't know about something, just because you don't know about it or know it yourself, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It's all right, boy. Just because you don't know about something or know it yourself doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Where does everything come from that we're aware of? Everything that we're aware of started from a story. Maybe that story was passed along one generation after another. Maybe it was written down in papers by a scribe. Maybe these stories were put in books. But everything began with a story. And then the point became, what is the point of these stories? What is the point of these stories? You could think of all kinds of stories that were written down and or passed on by word of mouth. Native Americans have done a lot of that. Word of mouth. Passed down these stories. History, as we know history, written after the fact that something happened. Just because you were there, I'm sorry, I take that back. History is written about something that happened. Now, you weren't there, were you? 300, 400, 500 years ago or more. So, why should you believe what's written in history? And I know what you're thinking, but guess what? History isn't the only book that's not accurate. History isn't the only book that's not accurate. A lot of things written down are for us to decipher. If you're reading a story from, say, the 1400s, and one country is amassing ships to go across the sea because that's been deemed impossible to do, because the earth is flat and then you fall off, right? Well, in a way, you decipher that through your imagination. Of course, now that story has been debunked. Well, the falling off part anyway. but it's your imagination. And it's your imagination coupled with your experiences that lead you to believe in a story. Have you ever said, I didn't know that? As opposed to, your beliefs are wrong, my beliefs are right. What's the difference between being presented with information and saying, wow, I didn't know that, thanks for telling me, and I don't believe in your beliefs, you're wrong, there's a problem there. What's the difference? Just because you don't know about it or don't know it personally doesn't mean something does not exist. And if something exists, okay, what is the course people take? I take that back. If something exists, don't we as human beings have a curiosity to experience it? We're born with a curiosity to experience things, investigate, right? I never knew this dimension of existence existed where I'm at now, above the third dimension. And it exists. It exists because I experienced it. Okay? It exists because I experienced it. And that is pretty much the backbone of my explanation why I'm on the path I'm on now. Which are from stories from various tribes, clans, societies, and civilizations. And all of that, everything that encompasses spirituality, all the different paths and ways and religions and doctrines and tenets, I could say definitively today that there were ways that I tried and it didn't help me. As a matter of fact, it made me more anxious. As a matter of fact, I was scared that I would be attacked. As a matter of fact, I became very judgmental and self-righteous from them. And so now I follow ways that I don't even know how to explain it to you. It's just a nice way to live, okay? It's a nice way to live. I never knew it existed. I did know it existed. I'll close with this. I did know this way existed. I think I mentioned this once before. From the time I was a kid and allowed to stray off away from the house, and we lived like this here right next to the woods, I want to say 11 years old. I was always out in the woods, always climbing hills, always walking back roads, dirt roads, paths, old horse trails to the next town. In the woods, the mountains and the rolling hills of Pennsylvania. I was always out there. There was always a connection. And I was a different person. And whatever happened, happened. And that all changed. So here I am again. Back where it all started, so to speak. Stop complicating your life. I know people they start a spiritual path and they have a setback and all of a sudden they're wondering, oh, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? Oh, Carl Jung said, that psychiatrist said you gotta find out about your dark side, and Freud was all about the animalistic nature in us, and maybe it's that. Maybe it's sin nature, some people believe. We all have free will, and etc., 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 on and on and on and on, right? Just take a walk in the woods, turn off your phone, unless you're making a video. Just take a walk in the woods and sit down for 15 minutes, okay? With no phone or your phone off. Disengage your senses from that world of wires and electrical plugs and, you know, all of that stuff. Disengage your senses. There's about 30 blackbirds flying around from tree to tree. I don't know where they're going. Lots of cicadas. I could tell by sight and sound that we're on the other side of summer. We're on the other side of it. I had some setbacks this year, but I'm happy. I'm happy I stuck it out with a kind heart and a clear and calm mind. Those birds look like scavengers. And there's more than 100 that passed me already. They're just flying through the trees on the other side of the creek, heading that way, west. Maybe they're migrating. There's a lot of them. All right, everybody, I'll let you go. Have a good day.